not going to happen.
Josh Koscheck is very hungry. He's on a winning streak, and one guy gonna have to bring him down. It's gonna be me.
I would say I knock him out within the first 2 minutes of this fight. So he's gonna go to sleep.
California, stand up for the kid. A lot of people say he couldn't, but his heart said he did. A punch to the ribs, then a slam to the mat. Josh Koscheck puts another on his back. Another leg flat, another knockdown. A lot of UFC fighters know just what I'm talking about. Chris Dan knocked out, Dave Moore choked out. Even Cruz submitted with his lip ball hold down. 11-1-0, standing 5'10".
Focused and intense Josh Koscheck makes his way towards the octagon for the biggest fight of his career and the toughest challenge of his career. Josh Koscheck, as we said many times before, is a phenomenal wrestler. Comes from a huge wrestling pedigree, 4-time Division I All-American, which is just unprecedented. There's so very few athletes that are able to achieve that in the sport of amateur wrestling. That's making All-American freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. He's an incredibly explosive takedown artist. His takedowns are second to none, and his striking has improved tenfold since we first saw him on The Ultimate Fighter.
You know, I said as we got into the feature, Joe, that this is truly the biggest opportunity of Koscheck's career. And when I talked to Josh a couple of days ago, I said, wow, man, great chance. He goes, what chance? I go, well, great opportunity. He goes, what opportunity? Interesting that he is truly, at least the appearances, taking this as just another fight.
Well, he's a cocky dude, you know.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Josh, who his heroes are, he goes, I don't have any heroes, I'm my own hero.
Exactly.
You know what? And that kind of confidence and that kind of cockiness, you need that to be a guy who's a top competitor. I mean, it's a tool in your arsenal. Josh Koscheck is an excellent example of a guy who is phenomenal at one sport, and he's used that drive, that determination, that discipline, and that feeling, that knowledge of what it takes to become great, and transferred it into mixed martial arts.
Big opportunity indeed, if he wants to admit it to us or not, tonight for Josh Koscheck from The Ultimate Fighter 1, taking on George Rush St. Pierre. And they should. The French Canadian, the former UFC welterweight champion, who has a different look in his eyes here as he entered the octagon than he did prior to the Sarah fight. George Rush St. Pierre.
Mike, I was just about to talk about the look in his eyes. This is the look that we saw when he fought Frank Triggs. This is the look that we saw when he fought Sean Sherm. The determined, angry juggernaut George St. Pierre, the focused George St. Pierre. In his defense, going into that title defense against Matt Serra, he was having tremendous personal problems, family health issues, and you know what? Anything like that can distract you in the middle of a huge event like defending the World Championship and the Ultimate Fighting Championship. I mean, it's a very difficult task, and it's a very difficult thing to sort out your emotions. Now that he's with Greg Jackson, he's training down there in New Mexico. He's got a completely different camp now. When he was up in Canada, he was basically training himself. He would go to separate boxing training. He would go to separate jiu-jitsu training. Now down at Jackson's camp in New Mexico, he's got one place where he trains with a bunch of very, very tough guys, and he's got all that coaching in one area. Before this fight, he's basically kind of self-coached. He basically brought himself to all these different areas to train in different disciplines. He looks very focused and very eager to reclaim his spot at the top.
his new manager, Sherry Spencer. The witch doctor, Steve Friend, says, and he knows George Rush St. Pierre very well, that his mental is back. Well, we'll soon find out, because he is going to take on a man who is extremely mentally strong in Josh Koscheck. And the question will be answered, I think, tonight. Does he have the mental to return to the top? Did he simply just get caught by Matt Serra? Our tale of the tape for this welterweight matchup, brought to you by Zions Energy. Zenergy, the great tasting super premium energy drink. 26-year-old St. Pierre against 29-year-old Josh Koscheck. Everything else is virtually identical. For the official introductions of this, our co-main event of the evening, once again, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, our sponsors for this UFC contest are Mickey's Fine Malt Liquor, the official beer of the UFC, Mickey's Get Stung, and Stuntman Ignition, master of the most death-defying vehicle stunts ever filmed, available August 28th. And now, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 11 wins with 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Fresno, California, Josh Koscheck. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a wrestler and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 13 wins with 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former UFC welterweight champion, George Rush St. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Big John McCarthy.
All right, gentlemen, I gave your instructions in your dressing room. Got any questions from you, Josh? Any questions from you, George? I want to fight clean, fight hard, fight fair. Let's go.
I think St. Pierre is ready. So is Koscheck.
Mike, one thing I'm noticing is how big George St. Pierre looks compared to Koscheck.
St. Pierre, Koscheck. As Joe has said many times, 2 of the greatest athletes in the history of the sport. St. Pierre can't wait to get into the center of the octagon. He's like a caged animal. And we are underway. They touch gloves, and here we go. St. Pierre's striking is so good, so dangerous. Don't forget, tonight's clock brought to you by Death Sentence, the new movie, out in theaters August 31st, starring Kevin Bacon.
Josh Koscheck has some good hands. George St. Pierre, I think, has an advantage in the kicking department, though. Oh, good takedown.
Good takedown of the world-class wrestler.
Right away. And we've seen this with him with Sean Sherk, seen this with Frank Trigg. These guys that have this great wrestling pedigree, they don't expect St. Pierre to be able to take them down, but he can take down almost anyone.
You know, the amazing thing is the fact that he doesn't have that wrestling background, that wrestling pedigree that you talked about, Joe, but yet he took down Trigg, he took down Hughes, he took down Sherk, and now he just took down Koscheck.
Not only to take him down, he's passing Koscheck's guard. He's in half guard now.
They still love George Rush St. Pierre. Not that they don't love Josh Koscheck, but he has all the tools to rule this division for a long time. Absolutely.
He's a gentleman, and he's got a great accent.
And he will itch you very hard.
You gotta analyze his rhythm. Koscheck doing a good job of keeping it inside in half guard.
Ready a great night for his good friend Patrick Cote with the upset win to begin things tonight over Kendall Grove. So one French-Canadian over an Ultimate Fighter star. Could this be the second of the night?
St. Pierre got a hold of Koscheck's legs. He's going to try to shake one of them to the side and pass over the top. Good job by Koscheck and keeping him in his guard.
Koscheck's such a great learner, such a sponge, as everyone talked about on the Ultimate Fighter 1. And you talked about his training at AKA with Bob Cook, Dave Camarillo, and the guys.
True, but I wonder how much time Koscheck has spent off of his back.
Absolutely.
And whether or not he expected this to be the case at all.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that, Joe, because he says that about 80 to 85% of his training now is stand-up training. So that is an interesting question, how much time he has spent on his back. Because I don't know if you're in this George St. Pierre fight, if you're thinking, all right, I'm going to have to work off my back. You're probably thinking, I got to avoid the striking of GSP. You got to be ready for everything, but you would think maybe that would come first.
It's all, you know, it's all in how they look at the past fights. And if you look at it objectively, you got to say, well, he took down Trigg, he took down Shirk.
Good point.
He shrugged off Hughes. I mean, I got to be careful about this guy's grappling, but, you know, Josh Koscheck is a very confident, brash young man, and he might, I mean, you saw in the pre-fight talk, he was like, you know, he's not taking me down. And immediately he got taken down. So let's see if he's prepared for this situation. Right now, no one's landing anything significant, but St. Pierre is holding Koscheck down, which is pretty impressive.
This fight scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds, a non-title fight. Not that both men couldn't push the pace for 25 minutes.
All right, Koscheck's got a hold of a leg now. Let's see if he can utilize that to stand up. And he does. And let's see if he can take George St. Pierre down. St. Pierre stuffing it so far. But Koscheck is going to pick that leg up and try to turn the corner.
Koscheck is so good when he gets a limb.
Wow.
That is an explosive takedown. Explosive takedown.
St. Pierre's got one leg, 2 legs under him. He's in butterfly guard. And he's got an overhook protecting the left side of his face. He's got Koscheck's right arm locked up. And he's got to look out for a triangle. George St. Pierre reached over and grabbed a hold of Koscheck's wrist. And it looked like he was thinking about poking his leg out to try to get a triangle in this situation. Back to butterfly guard.
Joe, when you look at the wrestling skills of Josh Koscheck, how do they compare to the wrestling skills of a Frank Trigg or a Matt Hughes or a Sean Shirk? Are they more superior?
Well, I mean, if you look at his wrestling pedigree, I mean, he's a 4-time four-time Division I All-American. I mean, that's unbelievable. 2001 national champion. I mean, he's a phenomenal wrestler, and most people agree that he is the best wrestler that's involved in mixed martial arts. Right up there with Matt Lindland, right up there with Dan Henderson.
And doing a nice job of controlling the latter moments of this round 1.
Push up, and there you go.
This is Koscheck's world. Koscheck coming off of the win over Diego Sanchez. The first time Sanchez had ever been defeated in his mixed martial arts career. Good punches at the end of round 1. Koscheck unfazed, as we have mentioned frequently. Look at the icy stare in the eyes of Diego Sanchez.
Talk about an intense young man right there.
You talk about a guy who hates Josh Koscheck.
Look at that face, man. That dude wants some revenge.
How good is Sanchez and Fitch going to be?
That is a crazy matchup. Very similar to the matchup we're seeing right now.
How good is it that we're going to get busy again inside the octagon?
Bring it down. Bring it all down.
So many great fights coming up.
All right, look at him, straight ahead. Keep those combos coming forward like that. And know that he's going to shoot. That's all right. Stay relaxed and explosive inside. Very nice. He's spending a lot of energy and going to a double. When he has the single, make sure that you stuff it.
I see Greg Jackson giving George advice, but I can't hear what he's saying.
Excellent round, George. Give me one more just like that.
At the stool.
Koscheck able to get a leg and get the takedown. St. Pierre. Maybe we saw a little bit at the end of the round who would actually have the advantage if this stays on the mat. They begin round 2. St. Pierre has great kicks, as you mentioned. Inside leg kick. Coming forward. Almost faking that Superman punch and then going with a straight left.
Again with a takedown attempt, and again successful.
Wow.
That is very impressive.
2 for 2 on takedown attempts is George St. Pierre, although it was reversed at the end of the first round, where Koscheck looked very good. Main event still ahead. Randy the Natural Couture, Gabriel Gonzalez.
Koscheck holding George in half guard, but the leg is free. It's he doesn't have him in a lockdown. He's basically just got his leg stuck in between Koscheck's 2 legs, but there's a lot of air there. if George can get into a position where he can push off, I think he can sneak his leg out, especially as his legs get slippery.
I'm fairly confident the coaches of the Ultimate Fighter, Matt Hughes, are watching this fight closely.
Kimura attempt. He's got a Kimura. I mean, you can still get the Kimura in half guard. It's still possible.
And Koscheck escapes. The Ultimate Fighter, the new season premieres September 19th, 11 p.m. on Spike. The Ultimate Fighter 1, one of the stars that has really progressed since leaving the house is Josh Koscheck. And then after that premiere edition,
he's got it again.
The Ultimate Fighter will move to Wednesdays at 10. And look at St. Pierre looking for the submission again here, Joe, as you mentioned.
What's saving Koscheck is that he's in half guard. It makes it a little bit more difficult. He's looking to his corner for advice.
Looking to his corner, looking to the clock, and he will see the
He's got to be careful. Stop behind his back. All right,
absolutely. Koscheck remaining very calm in this very dangerous position, though. St. Pierre really working hard for this submission.
Well, it'll be very, very dangerous. Okay, now he's free. The key is if St. Pierre can get a more dominant position before he applies something like that. If he can get his leg outside of the half guard, if he can pop that left leg that's stuck in between them, that's what's keeping him from freely moving his hips. And he gets it. He's out.
St. Pierre side control.
Okay, this is a bad spot for Koscheck for sure. And if St. Pierre can go for that Kimura again, Koscheck will be in a much worse spot to defend. If he can't control which way George St. Pierre's hips go by locking the leg in half guard, it's going to be much harder for him to defend that.
Joe just passed the midway point of this battle.
Josh Koscheck, we've never seen him on his back this much in a fight before. And he scrambles up to his feet, and he rolls. George St. Pierre holds him down.
Nice job done by GSP.
Big explosion by Koscheck, but no reward for it.
Last time he exploded out, he got a leg and ended up getting the takedown of George St. Pierre. This round has belonged to the former champion. And the champs of GSP here in this sold-out Mandalay Bay Event Center.
Koscheck back in the half guard. GSP is pushing down that left leg, or excuse me, the right leg of Koscheck. He's going to try the Kimura again. He keeps trying it from this position, and, you know, we see guys get it from half guard. Joe Riggs got tapped in this position. Matt Hughes got him in the Kimura from half guard.
St. Pierre really working on his jiu-jitsu, just earned his brown belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And looking again to crank the arm and crank the shoulder of Josh Koscheck. Shot to the midsection.
The right leg behind Josh Koscheck's head makes this very dangerous for him, because that eliminates one escape route. Very dangerous for him.
St. Pierre looking to return to glory.
Now watch the elbows, they'll make it straight down. Be careful.
All those punches to the head, that's just to distract him, to try to break that arm loose.
Soften him up a little bit. St. Pierre really trying to crank on it now.
The key to this is to keep the arm close to your body and use your whole body. Don't yank it with your arms. Keep it tight and press to your body and use your whole core to yank it out.
He was saying something to John McCarthy. Hard to tell what, though. Now he's going to crank that midsection some more.
I'm sure McCarthy's probably telling him that he has to keep moving and improve his position.
And he's saying, I'm trying to rip his arm off.
Good round for George St. Pierre.
Wow. Great job done by Josh Koscheck to avoid. But he will definitively lose round 2.
That's a humiliating round for him. Taken down and controlled by a man he said wouldn't be able to take him down.
Hey, he can hold his own punch. I'm not saying it's right, but he can do it. So that's what he's doing. You know it because he's good.
And let's look at these takedowns. Here's the first round. Immediately, George St. Pierre takes Koscheck down. Serves him notice. And here's the second round. Two very impressive takedowns
Championship round.
against, again, four-time All-American wrestler.
All right? Championship round.
Koscheck had his collegiate coach Tim Flynn from Edinburgh come in and really help him work on his conditioning, and the conditioning also obviously outstanding for George St. Pierre.
All right. Koscheck's got to do something spectacular in this round. The first round was close. He reversed him in the first round, but the second round, all George St. Pierre.
St. Pierre said he believes the loss to Matt Serra is the best thing that ever happened to him.
Ready? You ready?
His father was ill prior, had a cousin in a coma who has since unfortunately passed away. But St. Pierre says he's back mentally, and yesterday at the weigh-ins he did the motion of "I'll get my belt back," and the fans applauded. Tonight, former champion against perhaps a future champion in Josh Koscheck, but Koscheck running into trouble here in UFC 75 is champion versus champion. The light heavyweight title fight between Quentin Rampage Jackson and Dan Henderson. Bisping against Hamill, Mirko Krokop, Czech Congo. Tickets still available. Log on to 75.ufc.com. We will see you on Spike from London and internationally on pay-per-view.
Leg kicks over and over again from George St. Pierre.
Oh, good move. He really disguises the Superman punch and then comes forward with the left.
Yeah, he's really good at mixing up his strikes. And what he's showing Josh Koscheck, the Koscheck's not showing him, he's showing 4 weapons. He's showing both arms and both legs. Koscheck is basically just swinging punches.
And that is something that I asked you on camera, Joe, is has Josh Koscheck developed into enough of a complete mixed martial artist to nullify and to neutralize all the weapons St. Pierre possesses?
So far, the answer's been a resounding no.
Koscheck, though, is still very much a work in progress. He's only 29 years old. He's really an infant in this sport if you look at it. He can afford a loss tonight and still come back and be a champion one day. St. Pierre knew coming in he could ill afford to lose here again.
This will be a learning experience for him,
absolutely.
win, lose, or draw. I mean, even if he landed a spectacular knockout punch and knocked George St. Pierre out, he's learned that, yes, he can be taken down, yes, he can be controlled, and he cannot neglect his grappling. And, you know, it's also important to mix up the strikes. Kicks, knees, and elbows are also very important, not just punches.
St. Pierre high kick almost caught him.
Especially because the distance involved in kicks. St. Pierre can strike him at a distance where Koscheck has to jump in to connect the punches.
Koscheck tried to come over with the overhand right. There you go. See, he disguised it and gone with the left before so many times. That time, natural Superman punch, boom, delivered and landed.
Fade away inside leg kick.
2.5 minutes remains.
Josh Koscheck has got to do something here. Good jab and good leg kick. George St. Pierre turning it on. Koscheck just keeps winging that right hand.
Oh, trying to elbow.
Home. He's got a leg. Let's see about George St. Pierre's takedown defense. He was able to shrug off Matt Hughes.
Wasn't able to shrug off Koscheck in round 1 from a similar position, though. Under 2 minutes away from a victory is George St. Pierre.
Just the fact that Josh Koscheck's had his leg for this long and hasn't been able to take him down, it's pretty impressive.
Wow, how good is that?
That's some explosive athleticism right there.
That is why he is considered the greatest athlete, pure athlete in MMA today, George St. Pierre. Considered by many, not by all, but by many. Good elbows. I mean, when you're questioned by the boss, the president of the organization in which you were a champion, if your mental state is questioned, I have a feeling it might tick you off a little bit. And George St. Pierre did not go into a hole and hide, as you can see right here. Continues to pour down the elbows. And as you mentioned, Joe, you've never seen Koscheck. You've seen him be defeated by Drew Fickett. He got caught late, but you've never seen him dominated on the ground like this.
No, this is crazy because he's being dominated in his own world, the grappling. I mean, that's where, George St. Pierre is getting the better of the striking, but really in the grappling, Koscheck working towards an armbar there. He's very desperate. Just a little over 30 seconds to go. He's got to do something.
Hughes and Serra wait ahead for their title fight. It'll be a rematch one way or another potentially for George St. Pierre. Either with Matt Hughes or Matt Serra.
Got it. He called your wrist. Got the material on the glove. You guys doing good. Get your fingers out of his face.
We said many questions would be answered. Is GSP back? You better believe he is.
Very impressive performance from George St. Pierre with a very difficult opponent. He falls back for a leg lock.
And this fight is over. And you can see Koscheck's anger. He knows the result.
Very upset.
And George again with that motion of I want my belt back. Great show of respect at the conclusion of this fight. Greg Jackson, his new coach.
They've got to be happy with that performance. I mean, George St. Pierre taking Josh Koscheck down literally at will. I mean, that was a big statement to everyone in the welterweight division.
Phil Nurse, one of the finest Muay Thai practitioners and coaches out there in the corner of GSP. Like you said, they love him and wind up.
All right, let's take a look at the closest the fight came to be finished. George St. Pierre had a Kimura attempt on Josh Koscheck. The only thing that saved Koscheck is that he was locked in half guard here. He was able to free his arm. A couple times St. Pierre went to it. Wasn't able to secure it, but you know, very impressive display of ground control, great takedowns. Just George St. Pierre is back.
George Rush St. Pierre. A fine performance here this evening at the sold-out Mandalay Bay Event Center. And this will certainly be a learning experience for Josh Koscheck. He will survive and he will move on and he will be better for this. Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. Glenn Trowbridge scores the contest 30-27. Adelaide Bird scores it 29-28. And Jeff Collins scores the contest 29-28. Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, George Rush St. Pierre.
Unanimous decision victory for GSP. Two classy dudes. Here's Joe.
All right, I'm here with the winner, George St. Pierre. George, congratulations. It's got to feel good to get that win back.
Feel unbelievable. I come from very far, and it's like I just reborn now. So I want to apologize to my fans for my last fight. I think it's the best thing ever happened to me for my career. And now I'm a brand new version. I'm better than ever.
Better than ever indeed. George, one of the most impressive things in this fight was that you out-wrestled the wrestler.
Yeah, I know. I had a game plan against Josh Koscheck. He's a very good wrestler. And my plan was to put him out of his comfort zone. So I knew he was not very acclimated to fight from his back. Sorry for my English, by the way.
That's all right. Take a look at the Mickey's replay and talk us through this.
I knew Josh liked the single, head inside to the double. So I knew it, so I trained a lot. And I wrestled, by the way, with some of the best wrestlers in the world. I want to say thanks to all those guys who are looking at me right now.
The former champ, he's back. George St. Pierre, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not finished yet. The UFC, I have a message for Dana White and Mr. Fertista. All right? They like to have a show. I gave a good show tonight, and I want to do something. So far, the UFC has been great. The crowd has been unbelievable. They've been everywhere, in Las Vegas, in California, in England. But if they come in Montreal, my people will go crazy, and they're gonna give them a show like they never seen before. It's on, yeah!
George St. Pierre, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, GSP's right. They will go crazy in the province of Quebec. Beautiful Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And he certainly has risen to the top here tonight. The French-Canadian superstar, George Rush St. Pierre. is our main event of the evening. Randy, the Natural Couture, 44 years old, against 28-year-old Gabriel Gonzaga. The winner will leave as the UFC heavyweight champion. 5-time champion, UFC Hall of Famer, 3-time heavyweight champion, 2-time light heavyweight champion, and perhaps the next champion in Gabriel Gonzaga, who defeated Mirko Krokop with that kick heard around the world in Manchester, England, in his previous appearance inside the octagon. Our main event is coming up next. Another great night it has been. Wow, this UFC stuff is pretty cool. Oh, a great night of action so far here tonight, Mandalay Bay Event Center. And speaking of action, how about this? Check out Kevin Bacon, his new movie, Death Sentence, in theaters August 31st.
Hey, UFC fans, my new movie, Death Sentence, comes out August 31st. It's about a guy whose life gets turned upside down when the unthinkable happens to him. So check out the movie, check out these clips, and enjoy the fights.
Brandon Hume, you've just won MVP.
Number 5.
Mr. Darley, you are released from custody.
You kidding me? I really don't care what happens to me. I just need them to be safe. You just bought them a death sentence. How do I make it stop?
He started a war.
All right, I'm here with Garrett Hedlund from the movie Death Sentence. It looks like a pretty exciting movie, man. Why don't you tell us about it?
It's pretty intense. Kevin Bacon gets to be a badass as usual, and you know, I play the villain of it, which is something completely different from the film I've ever done, and yeah, man, everybody's got to check it out, August 31st.
Now, what do you think about the fights tonight? Who are you looking for in the main event of the evening? Randy Couture versus Gabriel Gonzaga. What do you think is going to happen?
I got to say, I got to go with my heart, and I'm going Couture, but I'm going to put a little money down on Gonzaga. Well, it's that magnanimity effect, right?
I like that. You're going with your heart and your head at the same time.
And you know, I'm a big Couture fan, and I just love seeing those guys go out and beat their ass every day, and you know, still proving to the world that they got what it takes at the age that they are.
It's pretty crazy. And Death Sentence, August 31st?
August 31st, yes.
Go check it out. Garrett Hedlund, ladies and gentlemen, actor, mixed martial arts fan, handsome young man.
A handsome man indeed, not unlike my partner, of course, Joe Rogan. Big night tonight, UFC 74. Don't forget, it is now time for our main event of the evening, the heavyweight title fight between the Hall of Famer, Randy, the Natural Couture, and the challenger, Gabriel Gonzaga. Don't forget the UFC aerial cam tonight, brought to you by Death Sentence, in theaters everywhere, August 31st. He is by far the most beloved champion in UFC history. He is 44-year-old Randy Couture. But tonight he faces perhaps the new breed of mixed martial artists and a man known as Nepal. Mike Goldberg, Joe Rogan. Time now for our main event of the evening. At 44 years old, Randy Couture still competing. But when you look at this fight on paper, I have to ask you, how does he beat Gabriel Gonzaga tonight?
Mike, you know, I go back and forth in this fight, either 51%, 49%, both ways when I think about what could happen. What he could do is use his experience. This is going to be an enormous event for Gabriel Gonzaga. The fight with Krokop, he was an underdog. There wasn't nearly as much pressure on him. This is a huge opportunity for him. He's going to feel that pressure. Randy Couture has felt that pressure so many times. 10 of his last 12 fights have been title fights. So think about that. That and the fact that he's a phenomenal wrestler. If Randy can control Gabriel, if he can tie up in the clinch, use those Greco-Roman skills, get him to the ground, hold him on his back, elbow him against the cage, Randy could easily win by stoppage or by unanimous decision. I can see it happening.
Gabriel Gonzaga, meantime, if you look at this on paper, you have to say, has more ways to win because he's a very heavy-handed and dangerous striker. He's a pretty good wrestler, and he's a world-class grappler.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Mundial champion in the heavyweight division. I mean, that's the top of the food chain for Jiu-Jitsu, and he is a victor in that. He's got knockout power in his hands and his feet. That knockout kick by Cro Cop just sent a gigantic message to the entire heavyweight division. And from a lot of these great fighters, you don't really know what they're capable of until they fight great fighters. Cro Cop is a great fighter. Gonzaga showed in a perfect fight what he's capable against Cro Cop. He took no damage, one kick, caught it, took him to the ground, mauled him on the ground. They stood it back up, knocked him out with a head kick. I mean, if you judge him based on his fights against world-class competition, he's flawless.
Interesting, that night in England, Randy the Natural Couture actually picked Gabriel Gonzaga to beat Mirko Cro Cop. Now he needs to beat him to retain the belt. Joe said he's going 51-49 when he looks at this fight.
I go back and forth.
Absolutely. Let's see how our fans have voted all night long. Thousands and thousands logging on at UFC.com, texting their vote, and it is now 61% who believe that the natural Randy Couture will remain the heavyweight champion at the conclusion of tonight's main event of the evening. The question is, will Captain America once again conquer, or will tonight be the night that Gabriel Gonzaga fulfills his lifelong dream of leaving with the UFC heavyweight belt?
After retiring and then getting an offer to come back and fight Tim, it wasn't really about the title, it was just about competing.
Not bad for an old man.
I don't know what 44-year-olds are supposed to feel like. I feel pretty damn good.
Mirko Cro Cop, Gabriel Gonzaga. The winner will get a title shot against Randy the Natural Couture. Coming into this fight.
Very nice catch, though. Oh, he took a couple shots right there. Looks like he cut him.
I was training a lot with my team to get the exact time when he was going to kick. When he landed the kick, I was ready to take him down. And then I start to apply my ground game.
Gonzaga, extremely confident.
And then when we restart, he was completely dizzy and he thought that I was going to land a lower kick. After my fight with Mirko Cro Cop, the UFC could see that I'm the best fighter in the heavyweight division. I'm the #1 contender. You know, I'm the best guy to offer Randy Couture a great fight, and I'm going to do that.
He's demonstrated he's got some great stand-up skills, but that's not what he's known for. He's known as a submission guy.
The strong part of my game is my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills, and I know that he's afraid of that.
Pace of the fight has to be high. It's not going to be a slow, let's trade shots type of a fight. It's going to be let's get after it and see who's still standing at the end.
I respect Randy Couture a lot, but I came to be a champion. Tonight, I'm going to win this fight.
I want to have another good competition and go out and beat the dog crap out of Gabe Gonzaga. That's what it's about.
Gonzaga looks very calm and focused in the biggest fight of his career. a big, natural, 240-pound plus heavyweight, vicious knockout power in his hands and his feet, and world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu ground game.
It's the same look of confidence that he had the entire week in Manchester, England, and the same look of confidence that he had entering the octagon against one of the most dangerous soldiers, if you will, in the world, in Mirko Cro Cop.
And an interesting thing that you pointed out, Mike, earlier, if you look at it on paper, the fight with Cro Cop was so much more dangerous than the fight with Randy Couture.
Absolutely.
Cro Cop can put you to sleep. Randy is not known as a knockout artist. I mean, he did land that beautiful right hand on Tim Sylvia and hurt him very badly in that fight, but other than that, he's not really known for punishing guys with his striking. He's known for controlling guys with wrestling and winning with ground and pound and overwhelming them with technique, with pressure, with conditioning. Gabriel Gonzaga, though, is known for putting guys to sleep. He's known for choking guys, he's known for submitting them, he's known for stopping fights.
You know, the interesting thing there is that, you know, in the Randy Couture win, he'll control you, he'll beat you down, he'll ground and pound you, and the ref will probably stop the fight. Randy has won a ton, and he's an awesome champion and will always be a legend. But that's the thing with Mirko Cro Cop, Gabriel Gonzaga. Their ability is to have you wake up the loser by a little smelling salts under your nose.
And you know what? Nobody really knew about that before the fight with Cro Cop. I mean, I had heard his coach telling me how great his Muay Thai was and how it was the most underappreciated aspect of his game, but boy, did he show that in the Cro Cop fight.
Tonight, he faces the Natural. Champion, Randy the Natural Couture.
I have had the pleasure of watching this man compete from the very moment he first stepped into the octagon way back in UFC 13 when he fought Tony Halma. He is an amazing athlete, an amazing competitor, former light heavyweight champion, current heavyweight champion, and an active competing Hall of Fame member. He's just a guy that's just an incredible athlete, an incredible man. His ability to rise to the occasion over and over again is just unprecedented. He's gone through some tough spots in his career, the knockout losses to Chuck Liddell, rebounded and did what most people thought was the impossible at 40-plus years of age, recaptured the heavyweight title against a giant in Tim Sylvia. Can he hold it tonight against possibly the most dangerous guy in the entire division? Many people thought going into the Cro Cop bout, when Gabriel Gonzaga fought Cro Cop, that Cro Cop was the scariest guy in the division. Gabriel Gonzaga shut him down and flatlined him. Can he do that to Randy Couture?
Couture debuted 10 years and 61 UFC cards ago, and he may very well be better than he has ever been. But the question is, will that be enough in tonight's main event of the evening? The winner leaves with that, the UFC heavyweight belt. Our tale of the tape for this, our main event, is brought to you by Zion Synergy. Synergy, the great tasting super premium energy drink. Couture, 16 years the elder of Gonzaga. He has the reach advantage, but Gonzaga is a much larger man. To officially introduce the champion and the challenger. Once again, the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this UFC championship bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission with Chairman Dr. Tony Alamo and Commissioner Skip Avancino Jr., John Bailey, Joe W. Brown, and TJ Day, and Executive Director Keith Kaiser. Our judges at Octagon side are Tony Weeks, Doug Crosby, and Cecil Peoples. Our doctors are Al Capana, Rodney Curson, William Berliner, and David Watson. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Herb Dean. This championship bout is sponsored by Zenergy, the great tasting premium energy drink. Toyo Tires, the official tire of the UFC. Toyo Tires, driven to perform. And Death Sentence in theaters everywhere, August 31st. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 UFC warriors have now entered the world's ultimate proving ground for fighters to go to war against each other. But tonight, only one will leave the champion. And now, live from the sold-out Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, it's time! 5 rounds for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, the challenger fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter holding a professional record of 8 wins with 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 252 pounds. Fighting out of Ludlow, Massachusetts, by way of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger, Gabriel Napao Gonzaga. And now introducing the champion fighting out of the red corner. This man is a world-class Greco-Roman wrestler. He holds a professional record of 15 wins with 8 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 228.5 pounds. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, this man is the only fighter to win UFC championship titles 5 times and in 2 different weight classes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former 2-time UFC light heavyweight champion, the legendary UFC Hall of Fame Octagon Warrior, the reigning, defending UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Randy the Natural
Gentlemen, we follow my instructions. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions at all times. Let's have a nice, clean fight. Touch gloves, come out ready to do this.
Here we go.
Look how much bigger Gonzaga looks.
Absolutely. My goodness, that's a big man. And Randy was overwhelmed by bigger opponents early in his heavyweight career. Josh Barnett, Rico Rodriguez. He'll have a game plan, though, we know that. Gonzaga has so much respect for Randy, but tonight it's a fight for supremacy in the heavyweight division. Our main event is underway. Quickly coming out with a right hand. The first round of this fight brought to you by Death Sentence in theaters everywhere. August 31st. Coming over the top again.
Shots.
Randy almost had to take down. Caught him with a left.
Randy landed a good left hook.
Couture caught a good left hook. Gonzaga's so strong. So is Couture, though. Randy caught Gabriel Gonzaga with a left hook.
He's got his back. He was able to suplex him in this position. Let's see if he can do it to Gonzaga. Gonzaga frees one hand.
Joe, it's not that they don't like Gonzaga, it's just that they love Randy Couture.
It's hard not to love the guy.
Couture is great with dirty boxing, great in this position with the clinch. One of the finest Greco-Roman wrestlers ever. This is Randy's type of fight. Close the distance. Dirty boxing. Get the hooks in. But trying to smother and control a man as big and large as Gonzaga is going to be exhausting for Couture.
And Greco-Roman is the best style of wrestling for mixed martial arts, in my opinion. It translates the best. The tie-ups, the clinching, and controlling the clinch game, especially up against the cage, is such a huge aspect of the sport. Big knee.
Oh, and a big right hand. Couture ducks underneath.
By Gonzaga. Oh,
Gonzaga caught with a kick.
Kick and a punch.
Randy demonstrated great head movement in his win against Tim Sylvia. He caught that kick there. That was the left kick.
To his feet. Big knee by Gonzaga and a knee by Randy.
I have to imagine Gonzaga has trained diligently in the clinch, preparing for Randy Couture.
Oh, big elbow. Big elbow and big left hand. Randy's got to be very careful in these exchanges. Gonzaga has big power.
Good use of the short range with the elbow by Gonzaga there.
Blood on the nose of Gonzaga.
Couture pushing the bigger, younger opponent up against the fence again.
Randy's got double underhooks here. He can control Gonzaga's body. Good knee to the body by Gonzaga.
This is not only about control, but it's about sucking some of the wind out of Gonzaga and neutralizing the size advantage that Gabriel Gonzaga has. As Randy always says, imposing his will upon his opponent.
Gonzaga doing a very good job of avoiding the takedown so far. You see that big cut on the bridge of his nose and blood pouring down his nose. I don't know if that nose is broken, but his mouth is wide open, which indicates to me it might be broken. If that's the case, that means that blood is running down the back of his mouth. It's going to make him very difficult to breathe, and he's going to have to breathe out of his mouth instead of out of his nose. Yeah, that's nasty.
Couture has said he thinks he's the best fighter he's ever been. Trained with so many great superstars of Extreme Couture, including Mandalay Silva, of all people.
Good shot by Couture out of the clinch.
Under 90 seconds remains in round one. Remember, it's a championship fight. Joe scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. Little shoulder shrug. And again.
And Randy loves these battles of wills. I mean, he's such a conditioned fighter, and he's so used to being in the middle of the fire like this. He loves these kind of battles. These are the type of battles that he comes out ahead on.
We talk so often about this fight on paper. This is the one area where on paper Randy had the advantage in the clinch.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the Greco-Roman skills. Good left hand by Randy.
Randy knows to be cautious as he tries to strike with the dirty boxing. And there's the elbow by Randy that Gonzaga kind of threw at him earlier. And look at how exhausted Gonzaga looks. And it may very well be because his nose is busted up, as you pointed out, Joe. He is breathing out of his mouth very early.
Yeah, his spitting blood out. That's an indication that it is leaking down into his mouth. And the dangerous part there, of course, is that as he's breathing in, he might be breathing blood into his lungs.
Good combinations by Gonzaga again.
And Randy pushes him back up against the cage. Gonzaga goes for a choke.
The round's going to end. The round's going to end. What a great start from the natural.
Let's take a look at the takedown here. Here's a beautiful left hand by Randy that rocked Gonzaga.
That's the one that caught his nose, Joe. You saw his nose explode there.
I don't think that was it. Nope. I think the damage to his nose was in the takedown.
Gotcha. Oh, that you may be very right.
I don't think it was there either. I think it was in another takedown. This is it right here, I believe. Oh, yeah. That's a good left hand by Gonzaga.
Randy was wobbled for a moment there.
I believe what happened was their heads collided during the takedown, and that's what, let's look at that one more time. We got it on the camera here. Watch it. Here's the takedown. Watch as Randy takes him down. Bang!
Boom.
Slams his head off his nose.
Now, Joe, let me ask you this from a medical point of view. What can they do in the corner here to help Gonzaga in his breathing?
Not much.
Really?
You know, I mean, it's bleeding inside of his mouth. I mean, they can stop it on the outside of the skin, but if his nose is smashed and slamming the head off the nose like it did like that in that takedown. That could very well be the case.
Mouth wide open still, Gonzaga.
He might be forced in a situation where he has to have his mouth.
Went for the high kick, Randy tucked under.
And again, this is Randy's fight. This is where Randy overwhelmed Vitor Belfort. When Randy overwhelms a lot of guys in the clinch.
Looking to sweep the leg. Couture has been so busy, enjoying this resurrected Hall of Fame career. Swing and a miss. Uh-oh. Randy doesn't want to mess with the distance.
Slugfest here.
Yep. Randy trying to come around with a left. Uppercut, uppercut.
Randy
and again.
Working the younger man.
Gonzaga's just dripping. Yeah, he says he can't see. He's telling Herb Dean he can't see.
What?
He said to Herb Dean, I can't see.
Can you fight? You cannot fight.
Oh, no.
Can you fight?
Yeah.
Do you want to continue?
Yeah.
We
He says he wants to continue, though. So the doctors are going to take a look. They'll put him back in that same position.
You can either fight or you can't fight.
You know what? This is a big break for
One
him,
or the
though.
other.
I mean, if he says he can't see, I mean, basically saying I can't fight, and you got to stop the fight. You can't say I can't see,
And then I want to continue.
Same position.
Now they're going to put him, but still it's going to move on, Joe. They'll put him back in that same position, and the round will continue.
You know what? Randy's going to smell blood here. Not just literally, but figuratively. He's going to know that Gonzaga's thinking about quitting here.
He'll be warned for holding the fence out. Oh, they took the point. They took the point. Herb Dean took a point away of Gabriel Gonzaga for grabbing the fence there. No warning. Boom, point deducted.
Like we talked about earlier, Mike, the battle of wills. No one's got a stronger will than Randy Couture.
And Gabriel Gonzaga pointed that out. He said, the one thing Randy has better than anybody is the mental game. He's the greatest mentally strong fighter in Gonzaga's opinion that he's ever seen.
And he is overwhelming Gonzaga here. This dirty boxing, I mean, his dirty boxing skills are so sound. His ability to use his Greco-Roman clinching and then add in strikes, elbows, and punches from those positions, those tie-ups.
Reminding us all why we always say on paper it can't be done, but you don't go and you don't bet against Randy Couture.
And you know what's really incredible about Randy? Good shots by Randy here. Gonzaga's in trouble. Big uppercut. When people were talking about the conditioning, they were saying that the advantage goes to Randy at 44 years old. I mean, that's amazing that most experts were picking Randy as the better conditioned fighter. Blood is just spraying out of the nose of Gabriel Gonzaga. He ate a right hand right on the button.
Couture with a knee. And another big right. And Randy, again, wisely closes the distance.
He can fight like this all night long, too.
And if he does, he's going to walk away with that same belt he walked in with. Gonzaga's having an extremely difficult time breathing. Under 2 minutes remains in the second round.
Don't grab the fence.
Looking uppercut, looking elbow. And Gonzaga defending, but not putting up any offense here. Again, uppercuts. Ducking underneath. Every time. And anytime the distance widens a little bit, that's when Gonzaga tries for the big punch. Randy wisely moving the head, ducking underneath.
He gives him no room to breathe.
He's smothering. Absolutely sucks your heart out.
Now Gonzaga's got Randy pressed up against the cage.
But describe this fight as you will, but be cautious in overestimating the outcome too early, because Gonzaga's always one swing away from turning his fortune to a positive.
That's true. We're only 2 rounds in.
Absolutely. Long way to go in this
I
championship.
just don't know how he's going to go 5 rounds with that nose like that. I mean, especially when Randy keeps landing these shots.
We didn't know when his nose was healthy if he could go 5 rounds with Randy Couture. We thought if it got into championship rounds, Randy's advantage.
Yeah, which is amazing at 44 years of age. He landed a good knee there.
Under 30 seconds remains in the second. Couture caught him early. Caught him with the left. And then as Joe pointed out on a takedown, the nose busted up with Gabriel Gonzaga, spitting the blood out again. Final seconds of round number 2. Gonzaga looking for a takedown.
No dice. You lose it, needs a left hand for his troubles.
2 rounds belong to the champion.
A big telling point in that fight, Mike, or that round, rather, in my opinion, was when he went to Herb Dean and told Herb Dean that he couldn't see. He's in the middle of a battle, and he told the referee that he couldn't see. I mean, obviously, he's badly hurt. Obviously, his nose is a mess. But in my mind, mentally, he might be looking for a way out.
Napão, é superação, irmão. É luta de título, hein, Napão? Superação, Napão. A luta de título. Vai começar a luta pra você agora.
Badly smashed nose.
Morreu. No terceiro round, a tendência
it could easily be a broken bone, especially when you look. That's a deep gap. If you look at the takedown, the way Randy's head collided with him, which we believe is what caused that cut, that smashed nose. I mean, that thing just could be pancaked.
Wow.
But you know what? To be a champion, you must overcome adversity, and this is a very bad situation for Gonzaga.
Even the best in the business at stopping bleeding and cuts can't even get that one to stop flowing.
And fight.
3rd round. This is where it's dangerous, though. Everywhere's dangerous, and there's why. Randy has been best served to close the distance.
The more Gonzaga can keep him away, keep this in a striking situation, the better it is for him.
We saw that head movement so greatly improved against Sylvia. Yeah, staying very elusive here.
Gonzaga doing a good job of avoiding the clinch.
Oh, he caught him with a big kick there.
Unbelievable, he just took that.
Wow. Direct hit Gabriel Gonzaga. And Couture just shakes it off. This is where Randy wants it, and now you know why. Underhook. Watch for the uppercuts.
No, I don't know if Randy anticipated the fight playing out like this.
There's a takedown in the half guard. This could be the beginning of the end or the very end, partner. This is how Couture has done it so many times.
He's getting overwhelmed here. Herb Dean's very close to stopping it.
Shots left and right. Randy Couture
trying to create distance. Herb Dean taking a good look at him.
Couture remains the heavyweight champion!
Wow! The toughest fight of his career. The fight that most people thought was the most dangerous for him, and he overwhelms the younger, bigger, stronger, more dangerous competitor.
Father Time, wait your turn. As you have not caught up to Randy Couture.
Unbelievable. Let's take one more look at the takedown that we believe caused the break in the nose. Now here's the takedown. Watch as he takes him down. Watch Randy's head. Smash. It's hard to tell in that angle, shoulder, or, you know what, it could have been anything there. It could have been punches and elbows, but this is the end. Gonzaga's badly broken nose, his face is battered. He offers up no resistance, and Herb Dean stops the fight. The champion.
You know, I sit here a teeny bit like surprised and overwhelmed, and then I ask myself, why? Why be surprised? We have seen him do this over and over again. Randy Couture remains the heavyweight champion. Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute 37 seconds of round number 3. Declaring the winner, and still the UFC heavyweight champion of the world, Randy the Natural
champ. Amazing performance, Randy. You overwhelmed the bigger, stronger, younger man. Was tying him up in the clinch and getting him up against the cage and working. Was that a big part of your strategy?
Absolutely. I felt like if I got in his face, kept the pressure on him, was able to frustrate him from there, that it would pay dividends as the fight went on. I think he just wore down. We clashed heads on the takedown, and I think that's what cut his nose pretty bad. He's a tough guy, man. He rocked me a couple times.
Very, very tough opponent and overwhelming performance by you, Randy. Take a look at the Mickey's replay and talk us through some of the action here.
There's a change from the double to a high single, lifted, and right there planted him. And when he came down, our heads came together. I heard the crunch. I knew his nose was broke, and then I saw the blood. I just had to stay in that range. He's a big, strong guy. You don't want to stand outside. There I got to the half guard, postured up, and he had no place to go.
You know, a lot of people thought this was going to be the most difficult fight of your career, and you just overwhelmed the younger, stronger challenger. And you know what? I don't know why anybody doubts you. I don't know what to expect from you in the future. Every time we see you, you get better. It's a pleasure and an honor to watch you perform.
Thank you, guys. Thanks to my team and my family for being here for me. My wife, everybody. You guys are the backbone. You keep me going.
One of the greatest fighters in the history of the sport, the Natural, Randy Couture!
Mrs. Couture in attendance here tonight, and the Natural remains the heavyweight champion, 6-time UFC champion, UFC Hall of Famer. I gotta say it again, 44-year-old Randy Couture absolutely dominates Gabriel Napao Gonzaga. At 28, Gonzaga will be back. He'll be bigger and better. But right now, this sport, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, belongs to, you know what, really that man, Randy Couture. You know, as the Ultimate Fighting Championship continues to grow in popularity, so do the activities surrounding our main event, which is Fight Night. For the fans, it's not about coming Saturday during the first fight. It's about coming maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, and enjoying everything surrounding the UFC. It's now time for our Fight Week recap, which is brought to you by THQ's new video game, Stuntman Ignition, available August 28th. It's been an action-packed weekend with our heavyweight title matchup between Randy Couture and Gabriel Gonzaga. The week's events included our fighter autograph session on Friday. Next, it was the live weigh-ins at the Mandalay Bay Event Center, which aired live on ESPN News. The Fight Week recap brought to you by Stuntman Ignition. Master the most death-defying vehicle stunts ever filmed. Available August 28th. And the same will be said for Fight Week and recaps when eventually Matt Hughes and Matt Serra meet for the welterweight championship. But first things first, and that is a little thing called the Ultimate Fighter.
Do you want to be a fighter? That is my question.
It's the show that launched the mixed martial arts revolution.
This is what Ultimate Fighting is all about.
It created a whole new generation of UFC stars.
Looking like a seasoned veteran here tonight.
It even produced a champion. Now, that champion is returning as a coach on the newest season of The Ultimate Fighter.
I'm back.
And the other coach? former welterweight champion Matt Hughes, and he wants his belt back.
What's up, champ? Oh! Not real impressed with Matt. I don't even think he's in the top 10 in the world as far as welterweights.
I don't want to act like, you know, hey, we're buddies and everything else like that.
I've not been the one bad-mouthing you, so I don't know what you're worried about.
Matt Hughes, I cannot stand. He thinks I got lucky, and it's going to be a pleasure fighting that guy.
These two will fight for the belt in December, but first, they'll battle it out on The Ultimate Fighter, Team Hughes versus Team Sarah.
Hughes is just an egomaniac. It looks like you're taking a tinkle ass.
Matt's one of those guys. I think he's really got that small man complex.
What a dick.
I want the real people out there. I didn't come on this show not to win. I want to win. You're just doing moves out here.
I got to go deal with a bitch. You get your sparring on, and I'm kicking this guy the off the show. Hey, man, this is war right here.
The Ultimate Fighter, Team Hughes versus Team Sarah, premieres Wednesday, September 19th at 11 p.m. following UFC Fight Night on Spike. Then it will move to its regularly scheduled time, Wednesdays at 10 p.m. It's Team Hughes versus Team Sarah. It's another great season of The Ultimate Fighter. George St. Pierre a winner tonight, so he'll be watching that fight at the end of The Ultimate Fighter. And those guys got to quit damaging the house. It's just not cool. Taking this fight on late notice, Brazilian Thales Leites is coming off his most impressive performance in the octagon. His opponent tonight has waited a lifetime to fight in the UFC, and he does not plan on letting his dream be crushed. Newcomer Ryan Jensen began training under one of the UFC's first fighters, UFC 3 tournament winner Steve Jenham, and since then, the Nebraskan has compiled an impressive 11-1 mixed martial arts record. In his last bout on May 18th, Jensen submitted UFC veteran Curtis Stout in the first round with a triangle choke. But despite his success on the ground, as 6 of his wins have come by choke, he prefers to keep it standing, making his bout tonight against Thales Leites, a very intriguing style matchup.
I'm here to fight. I'm going to go in, stuff some of Thales' takedowns. We're going to bang it out. We're going to get bloody, and it's going to be a good time.
Soft-spoken Thales Leites didn't make a lot of noise when he entered the octagon for the first time in 2006, but what was immediately evident was that with his mix of technical ground fighting, heart, and an eagerness to put on exciting fights, that he was going to be staying here for a while. Winner of his last 2 bouts against Pete Sell and Floyd Sword, the 26-year-old Rio de Janeiro native looks to take another step up the middleweight hierarchy with a win over Ryan Jensen tonight.
I'm gonna beat Ryan Jensen, you know, and I'm 100% ready to this fight. I'm training hard, and this fight will be mine.
Coming up next, Ryan Jensen faces off against Thales Leites. 14 years he has waited to debut here in the octagon. This is a moment that he hopes will be a huge reward. He has had fights in his career that have never gone past 1 minute and 16 seconds of the second round. Now with Team Quest, working with Matt Lindland, some of the best in the business. Ryan Jensen at 11-1, who loves his submissions, is set to make his UFC debut.
He's a very tough, young, aggressive guy. This is a great debut for him, but he's really going to be tested. Thales Leites is a real sleeper in the 185-pound division. Especially, he really impressed me with that unanimous decision victory over Pete Drago Sell, because Pete Sell is a very tough guy, and Thales Leites just basically controlled that fight. Ryan Jensen's got his hands full, but he's a young guy, he's hungry, and as you said, Mike, he's been waiting a long time for this opportunity.
Jensen was just 15 years old when Steve Jenham, the Nebraska policeman who replaced an injured Ken Shamrock, came in, won one fight, won the UFC 3 tournament title. And he said, you know what? I think I'm going to train with this Steve Jenham guy. That was his start. That was his foundation. He has been hooked ever since.
And there you see Matt Lindland behind him, former UFC competitor, one of the top guys in the middleweight division of the world. Hopefully we can get him back in the UFC sometime soon. And if you're training with Matt Lindland, you're training with one of the best. So I guarantee you that Ryan Jensen is going to be prepared to the utmost.
He has a win over UFC veteran Curtis Stout. His only loss was to the very talented Brock Larson. He's done this for a very long time, this game of mixed martial arts, from being a Militich guy to Team Quest, and now today being inside the octagon. But Joe, you already talked about Talis Leitis. I mean, this man gets better and better with every fight. He knocked down Martin Kampmann, but he was pretty good in that one, lost unanimous decision. He beat down Pete Sell and absolutely looked awesome in his win over Floyd Sword.
Yeah, his jiu-jitsu is fantastic. His arm triangle submission of Floyd Sword was just beautiful technical jiu-jitsu. And as well as his, what we said earlier, his victory over Pete Sell. His jiu-jitsu, his positioning, his control is just fantastic. I was very, very impressed with him in that fight. He also has very good stand-up, great leg kicks. He's a tall guy, 6'1" at 185 pounds. He's got great reach. Struggled a little bit to make weight. He actually had to come back. He was 3 pounds over. He had to come back in 2 hours to drop the weight, and he did. He was successful. So and I think that's probably indicative of him taking this fight on short notice as well.
Came in as a replacement for Travis Lutter. Talis Leitis last fought at the Tough 5 finale, the Ultimate Fighter 5 finale in June, so he's right back in it. But in that one, submission win by arm triangle, 3 minutes, 50 seconds into the first round. He loves the arm triangle. Got his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt from UFC veteran Andre Pederneiras. And as I mentioned, he's a guy who seems to be getting more comfortable and becoming more of a factor at 185 every time he steps inside the gates.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. The fighter we saw against Martin Kampmann was really, I mean, a little bit overwhelmed. And in the Pete Sell fight, we got to see the real Talis Leitis, and I'm a fan. I'm very impressed.
Very well-decorated jiu-jitsu practitioner is taking on Ryan Jensen, who is 29 years old, fighting out of Omaha, Nebraska. Our tale of the tape is brought to you by Zions Zenergy. Zenergy, the great-tasting super premium energy drink. Talis Leitis, as I mentioned, 26, 3 years younger than the American Jensen. Everything else virtually identical. Leitis did have to weigh in 2 times, but he did make the weight at 186 pounds. For the official introductions of this middleweight matchup, once again, the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record of 11 wins with 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Omaha, Nebraska, Ryan Jensen. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a jiu-jitsu fighter who holds a professional record of 11 wins with 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 186 pounds. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Talis Leitis. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon is Herb Dean.
Herb Dean, our referee. A battle of 185-pounders. Ryan Jensen and Talis Leitis receiving final instructions in the middle of the octagon. 11-1 against 11-1 in their mixed martial arts careers. Jensen and Leitis. And Herb Dean is set to get it started.
You ready to fight? Ready. Let's do it.
Here we go. The 14-year wait is over. Jensen is in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Comes out with high kicks.
Throwing some bombs. He looks very calm.
Superman
very confident at the weigh-in. Eats a leg kick.
Jensen does look extremely calm and confident, doesn't he, early, Joe?
He looks calm and he looks very explosive.
Working those kicks diligently. Jensen pushing forward now with a jab. Good kick.
Leg kick by Leitis.
He's connected twice. Good inside leg kicks.
Oh, another good one. I like how he
pushing
did that.
forward is Jensen.
Moving away, landed that. Switched, reversed him. He's caught a guillotine, but he's... Oh, look at that beautiful jiu-jitsu. Look at that pass. I mean, that is just technique right there. Jensen holds on to that headlock, tries to get that guillotine, and Talis just rotates around him. But he's got it standing up here, and that is a Matt Lindland specialty right there. That front choke.
Jensen with a great start here. Jensen in the dark trunks. Leitis in the white trunks.
Oh, good right hand.
And he caught him again.
Talis caught the right hand, immediately went for the takedown. He recovered. He's got all the Jensen's legs, but Jensen's doing some good scrambling here.
Up against the fence now.
He's inside Jensen's butterfly guard.
Jensen knew coming in, Joe, this was by far the biggest event and the toughest opponent he has ever faced in his mixed martial arts career.
He turned to stand up there, but he gave his back. He's got to be very careful here. Oh, good elbow. He's got to break those hands free and get loose. He's going to get thrown down.
And he has.
Now this is bad. Talis has got the over-under, and he's got his back with one hook in.
And there's the second.
Hooks. This is a bad spot for Ryan Jensen. I mean, you're talking about top of the food chain jiu-jitsu here from Talis Leitis. If he gets you in a bad spot, he's going to capitalize. He's working that arm triangle. Look at Jensen's left arm.
He loves arm triangles.
Yeah, and as soon as he gets his arm free, that's it. He's going to switch it up. Knee to the body. Oh, he got out of it.
Nicely done,
Very
Ryan Jensen.
explosive.
And Jensen tried to finish. Each time Jensen gets up, he tries to throw that knee.
I'm amazed that Talis didn't capitalize in that awesome position.
Jensen really likes those high kicks. It'll be interesting to see if at some point he tries to set something else up with the high kick.
Right hand by Talis. Jensen tries to counter.
Jensen apologizing, almost caught his opponent low. Great show of class inside the octagon. So much respect amongst our competitors
Good
here.
leg kick by Jensen there.
Jensen looks very calm.
Very poised for his first fight in the UFC.
Inside leg kick.
A nice fake with the punch, shoots, doesn't get the takedown, so he pulls guard. Eats an elbow on top. Talis has got one overhook. That's the only thing that's controlling Ryan Jensen and keeping him there. If Ryan decides to just pull out and get out, oh, omoplata. Let it go, though. Little slippery.
And Jensen threw down big rights, once, twice, and a third time.
Going for the pass and the punch at the same time.
Jensen very well-rounded.
That's that Team Quest training.
No question about it. And interesting, I mean, as he went
Talis
through...
What's going on here? Talis is working an arm bar. He's got it.
It is all over. Talis Leitis submission victory over Ryan Jensen. Just like that.
Big mistake by Ryan Jensen. Left that arm in there. Very disappointed, but just a technical mistake. Left that arm in there. Talis rolled him over and took that arm bar. Beautiful, beautiful technique by Talis Leitis. Let's look at that again, Mike.
That's when the submission can be as sudden as the knockout.
And look at this. You see, he's on top, and he's utilizing his legs to spin around. And see, as soon as he gets that right leg over the top, and then he straightens out that arm, and then he spins him over. Bang, there it is.
And
Beautiful
immediately
technique.
Jensen forced to tap.
Yeah, one more look at this, Mike. See, he uses that right leg. As soon as the right leg hooks the body, see there, now uses that, and he grabs the arm and uses that leverage to flip him over. Bang, there it is. Beautiful technique by Talis Leitis.
Talis Leitis wins again. He wins his third straight fight here in the UFC. Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 47 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by tap out due to an arm bar, Talis Leitis.
Getting better and better with each entrance into the UFC. Here's Joe.
All right, I'm here again with the winner, Talis Leitis. Talis, once again, your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu proved to be what helped you win this fight.
Yeah, once again, thanks, one more step to the top. Thanks God. Thanks UFC for another opportunity. Then I like everybody. Thanks a lot, I'm really happy. And I hope to come back soon.
All right, Talis, take a look up at the big screen and talk us through the Mickey's replay. Show us this armbar. Tell us what you were thinking right here.
Yeah, he was trying past my guard, and I got the American here. tried to his back, and he left his arm, and I got it.
A beautiful technical victory. We look forward to seeing you again. Thomas Leightis, ladies and gentlemen.
3 minutes, 47 seconds is all it took for Leightis to defeat Jensen. And you know, Joe, we don't have to look very far for our submission of the night, brought to you by our good friends at tapout.com, the one you just saw a moment ago.
Thomas Leightis just showing beautiful Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Utilized his legs, worked the back from the guard, spun him around, bang, and locked in a beautiful armbar for the victory. Beautiful technical Jiu-Jitsu from Thomas Leightis, and well-deserving of the submission of the night.
Submission of the night, brought to you by our friends at Tapout. Tapout.com. Check it out right now. UFC 74, Respect, has been brought to you by Science Zenergy. Zenergy, the great tasting super premium energy drink. By Fox Atomic, Death Sentence, in theaters everywhere, August 31st. And by THQ, Stuntman Ignition. Master the most death-defying vehicle stunts ever filmed. Available August 28th. What a night indeed, and Respect certainly earned once again by George Rush St. Pierre.
George looked fantastic tonight. I mean, really coming back and not just showing the George St. Pierre of old, but an improved George St. Pierre. Taking down Koscheck at will, controlling the fight on the ground, controlling the stand-up. I was very impressed with him tonight. Shut down one of the top guys in the welterweight division and really served notice to everyone that he is, in fact, back.
There was only one guy who looked better than George Rush St. Pierre tonight, and that was Randy Couture.
Man, I mean, you can't say enough about that guy. That's a freak of nature. I mean, call him the Natural, call him Captain America, but that's an unusual human being. Just what a rare gem of an athlete. A guy who's 44 years old, not just winning, but dominating a bigger, stronger, younger man. And there he is talking to my man, Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin was talking to me before this, saying that this was his first fight live at UFC, and he had a great time.
He certainly did. So did we, as Couture remains the champion. And don't forget, here's what's coming up, courtesy of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. 2 weeks from tonight, London, England, UFC 75. Champion versus champion, Jackson against Henderson for the title. Then on Wednesday, September 19th, it's UFC Fight Night on Spike TV, followed by the premiere of The Ultimate Fighter, Team Hughes versus Team Sarah. 3 nights later, it's out west to the Honda Center in Anaheim, California, where Chuck the Iceman Liddell will take on the Dean of Mean, Keith Jardine, plus the debut of Mauricio Shogun Hua. Tickets still available. Then it's UFC 77 from Cincinnati, Ohio, Saturday, October 20th. The middleweight title fight, a rematch between Rich Franklin and Anderson Silva. Brandon Vera returns to the octagon, taking on Tim Sylvia. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. A lot of tickets sold already in Cincinnati. UFC Fight Club peeps, way to go. Keep rocking on. Don't forget, you can watch tonight's unaired preliminary bouts at UFC.com, your #1 website of choice. Executive producers of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, Frank Fertitta III, Lorenzo Fertitta, and UFC President Dana White. Our supervising producer is Craig Borsari. Director of production, Tim O'Toole. Our producer once again tonight, Bruce Connell. Our director, Anthony Pasquale Giordano. Alan Connell put it all together. Now we move the crew to London, where Joe Silva has put together many more great matchups for you, the fan of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Joe Daddy Stevenson reigns supreme tonight. Roger Huerta continues to impress. He was overwhelming, and he utilized everything in the house to win here at UFC 74. Would there be new respect for George Rush St. Pierre? Absolutely yes. St. Pierre took down world-class wrestler Josh Koscheck on multiple occasions. And let me tell you this, the old GSP is back and in search of his belt once again. You don't have to look very far to see who still owns the belt in the heavyweight division. That is the legend, the Hall of Famer, perhaps the greatest champion ever, 44-year-old Randy the Natural Couture. For all of us here at the Ultimate Fighting Championship, and my partner Joe Rogan, Mike Goldberg saying so long, as we will see you in 2 weeks from London, right back here inside the Octagon. So long, everybody.